use. So you can use pumps. But if the yield is not that high, you may use hand pumps and all that. So it has to be uh, they are amenable to boreholes are amenable to quantitative monitoring and testing, which enables accurate assessment. So, like the pumping test, when you do it, we are able to assess it, and then the water is supplied sufficiently, and then we are able to design it. The storage and the distribution system can be done. So you can have lots of water from groundwater to supply a whole community. In fact, there are boreholes that I've worked on which can supply an entire community. They can supply, let's say you have, even 10 liters per minute borehole can supply a whole household. So imagine having about 80 liters per minute. The community is far gone. So they can be monitored, you know, can be monitored to check the water levels for other purposes, especially for environmental studies and waste disposal. So even not only environmental studies and waste disposal only. Let's say you want to have a nuclear plant, there have to be boreholes around in that area to check the quality of water. Even in mining communities, you have to have boreholes to be monitoring the water quality of water that you have from the wells. So this is very, very important. We have to look at it. Environmental studies is very important. You can look at, let's say you have a refuse dump somewhere. You have to get boreholes to monitor the quality of the water, because the leachates that will infiltrate can end up in the groundwater system. So this is it. So the disadvantage is that you need a relatively high initial cost to do this work. It doesn't come that that easy. You have to put in money. It is not free. It is not free. But when you do it, you can get a lot of water. You can get a lot of water from it. So, you need an initial material cost, and input of specialized expertise. So if you don't get an expertise, it's a kind of you have to get someone who has much knowledge in boreholes to work on this thing for you. And that's what a lot of people don't want to do. The construction, the operation, the maintenance may require skills and expensive, heavy equipment. Relatively heavy equipment, not that heavy like galamsey equipment. No. So when it is when there's a pollution or contamination, it is very difficult to get rid of. That's one disadvantage. If it is polluted, the reversal is very, very difficult. So the monitoring and the maintenance are very, very important. So it is also vulnerable to sabotage. So it can be irreparably destroyed with little effort if inadequately protected. So if someone wants to destroy it, for instance, you just pour some materials into the well, maybe concrete, and then you are gone. You've lost your mortar. So that's one thing that you have to take into notice. You have to take to notice. It's very, very important that we look at that. Now, it requires source of energy. Please pardon me and let me pick this call. Okay. It requires a source of energy to be able to do, and because gravity also feed the system, they will have to put it from a lower depth to somewhere above. So it is very, very important that we look at it. And another thing is that you cannot get inside this thing proper to work on it. Yeah, so like I mentioned, you cannot get inside it to do the repairs underground. So you have to do it from subsurface. Please, sorry for that interruption. Yeah, sorry, it was a call that came through. So yeah, everything has to be. So if you have a submersible pump which is faulty, you cannot go down it. You have to bring it out and then do it. So now, these are some of the challenges that we have. You know, we don't have adequate laws in Ghana to regulate the drilling of boreholes. The laws are woefully inadequate. Sometimes I even feel that we are not doing ourselves much good, because sometimes they concentrate too much on surface water and then we lose focus on groundwater. I don't know why. Sometimes it's very difficult. I remember when I started this, I went to some institution to find out about laws to regulate hydrogeologists and all that. That was in 2018. And I was surprised not to even get one. So you can come out as a hydrogeologist and start doing your own thing. It was recently that I was told by some people who I know personally that yes, there's something like that that if come. I was really shocked. That time, what I got to know was that drillers are supposed to submit a report to some institutions, which I don't want to mention name, you know, before their licenses are renewed and all that. It's a whole thing. So all that affect the work. And some, just anybody can go and then start drilling a borehole. Sometimes I was told that someone who did industrial art is into borehole drilling. I was like, really? Really? Industrial art? What does he know about groundwater or hydrogeology? You see, because it's like, oh, you just drill anywhere and get water. No. Elsewhere, you have to get license to even drill, or permit to drill in your house. But we don't have that in Ghana. And we have to work on that, you know. And if we don't do that, we are not properly managing the this thing, the resource that we have. That's the groundwater. It is a valuable resource. It is a valuable resource which can be lost, or we can lose easily if it is not, if we do not properly manage it. So it is very, very important that we get laws. We try to register hydrogeologists, and then anyone who works on groundwater has to be someone who is very knowledgeable in the profession, not just anybody, you know. So it has to be well regulated. It has to be well regulated. Another challenge is that, I mean, when the boreholes are drilled too much. I mean, if there's too much over drilling, I mean, as it is happening now, there could be depletion of water, the water table. The water table may go low, 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 which does not help in this thing. Does not help in the management of the resource, and this can lead to grave accidents. And it is happening. It is happening in India. India is suffering from that, and they are now changing their strategies. They are now changing their strategies. And I'll show you some pictures in some few minutes, and you realize that when we are talking about grave accidents or things like that, it's very, very serious. It's very, very serious. Now there could be contamination. Agricultural using doing fertilizer application and all that. There could be some leaching of this or infiltration of these chemicals, leaching of them, you know. So it's very important that we look at it and then address it properly. And there could be industrial contaminants from industries. Industry discharging their waste can lead to pollution. And another thing is that um, waste from the municipal waste can also get leaked or infiltrate, especially the one which are liquid can infiltrate, and then our almighty fecal materials, can also leak. And another major thing which is happening, I mean, can be seawater intrusion or saltwater intrusion. When there happens like that, you realize that that this thing, the groundwater becomes saline. And then when it happens like that, that one is a natural phenomenon. So not much can be done about it.